Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Let Me Say This as we continue these divisional previews. This time, we heading back to the West Side. Best division in all of the NFL, if you ask me. Second to none. The NFC West, sending 3 teams to the playoffs last season. All 3 teams also had 12 or more wins. And one of the teams, you know who it is, knocked down 2 of the teams to get to the Super Bowl. But we're going to start with the team that didn't have the greatest season, let go of their franchise quarterback, and are trying to turn a new leaf with new head coach Mike LaFleur. The Arizona Cardinals, what are we expecting from them in 2026?
Well, honestly, I think Arizona's going to surprise a few people, personally. By the way, this is Rafael on this episode. I know we just jumped into it. I am back, and it's good to be back with you, Anthony. Thank you very much for having me. But I think Arizona is going to surprise quite a few people. I don't think they're going to be by any means able to take this division away.
They a long way from that.
But they're not. They're going to definitely improve from where they were last year. I think when you look at it, if anybody did watch the Hall of Fame game, Carson Beck played an outstanding game. I really think that he's going to be a huge improvement over Kyler Murray. I think getting rid of Kyler Murray for the Cardinals is a good thing. But there's still a lot of pieces in Arizona that there's question marks, right? There's still a lot of question marks. Do I think they're going to improve? Yes. Do I think they're at the point where they're going to contend? No, not at all. Where do I think they're going to fall? I mean, they haven't done anything really big with their defense. Their defense isn't good. Offensive line is going to be shaky. I mean, again, and Carson Beck looked good, but he looked good against 2s and 3s, right? He didn't look good against best.
Yeah, of course, but some of these guys, on these preseason teams, but some of these same guys have been in the league at least a few years. So, the speed of the game is still a little bit, it's much faster than the NFL. But I hear you. Of course, you always go glass half empty, glass half full. Yeah.
Let's not take it away, right? But at the same time, you're looking at the first preseason game of the season. So, and I'm not looking at it glass half empty, glass half full. You're playing with a limited playbook. You're not opening everything up. You're not getting and same defensively. You're not getting all the reads you would get in.
Yeah, most definitely.
3,
it's like
4,
basic,
5,
like that day
6.
one install. Yeah,
right. You're looking at your day one installs, right? So you're looking at your very basic coverages, your very basic reads, very basic disguises. You're not going against Steve Spagnuolo in his best that he's going to open up at week 5.
Yeah.
So it's questionable still, but I think that they're going to be promising. I think they're going to be better off, but as far as defensively, they're not going to be able to stop anybody. You're not going to be able to name anybody on the defense that's really going to make an impact.
Buda Baker, that's about the only one, but Buda Baker, his archetype of player is starting to phase out of the NFL, but he still plays at a high level.
He plays at a high level, but he's also older. He's a year older. I mean, So you're not looking at somebody that's going to support Buda Baker. You're not looking at somebody on the offense because I don't know if Connor's back.
Yeah, he's back
after he broke his ankle.
And they got Tyler Algier, and then of course the big
Jeremiah Love. I mean, listen, Jeremiah Love. That's great that you picked him up. It's great you have Jeremiah Love and you drafted him, and I think he's going to do good things. But what have you done to really support him on the offensive line to get him those yards?
Yeah, that's the biggest question.
You have one specific team that you play twice a year that's going to destroy Jeremiah Love if you don't do anything on that offensive line.
100%. And I think, and then obviously I think the things with Arizona, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., another, we talked about another receiver having a prove-it year, like MHJ, like a top 4 pick 2024 draft. We definitely, if you're trying to take your game to the, if you're trying to reach the next level and get this money, you definitely got to be one. And then it's also who's going to be the quarterback is going to be important. And when it comes to that situation, they also have Gardner Minshew on the roster, Jacoby Brissett. Those are going to be the two that are probably obviously be the quarterback for the majority of the season. They're not going to bring Carson back in just yet unless something drastic happens to either one of those two. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely going to be under a bigger microscope than he has been the last two seasons, especially last season, how he just kind of nosedived from his rookie season. So Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to have a big year. The other receiver on the other side, Michael Wilson, is being great. A lot of people saying thinking Trey McBride is not going to cook how he did last year, but I think he'll have a stellar season.
Trey McBride is in the 99 club for Madden, so I think there's other people that are seeing it differently. But when you bring up Marvin Harrison Jr., and the reason I didn't bring him up at all is because I've seen some of his clips from training camps. He's not making those fantastic catches. It doesn't look like he's put in any kind of work in the offseason to really stand out. Like, he's not doing the extra work. He's not like his dad. Stop living off your dad's name. You were great in Ohio State. You had one good rookie year, and then last year you started dropping off, and I don't see the drop-off really rebounding this year. I still think it's going to be a struggle. So that's just me on Marvin Harrison. I think Trey McBride is going to be good. But again, I personally don't think you're going to see Gardner Minshew at all this season.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see
Jacoby Brissett or Beck.
I think it's going to be Jacoby Brissett and then Carson Beck. Jacoby Brissett's going to play for a contract year. He's playing for contracts.
Yeah.
And to prove that he could start. And if he gets injured, which I hate to say it, when you play for the Arizona Cardinals behind that offensive line, you're going to get injured.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Beck is a younger, more stable, quarterback that I think can take the hits a little better. So we'll see. But I don't think
could be doing, that one thing, holding, trying to have another Manning Harrison wide receiver quarterback duo. But let's not put that on them just yet. But let's not put them on that just yet. And another thing would be too, I want to highlight what are their plans and intentions with Jeremiah Love. You brought in Tyler Algier from Atlanta, James Conner coming back off an injury. What are we going to do with Jeremiah Love? Is he RB1? Is he RB2? I know he's not going to be RB3. You don't draft nobody that high unless it's a quarterback and not use them, not plan on using them. So
the question is Connor going to be back from the injury at 100%? If he is, do you put him in a strong fullback position, maybe even slot? The thing about Algier was also not the, again, coming from Atlanta.
Obviously, he wasn't the feature back guy like Bijan.
He wasn't the feature back, right? But not only was he not the feature back, he was put in mostly on pass sets. I think he was used 68% pass sets.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at Algier being a passing back, that means you can move him into the slot. You can move him in. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things you could do with Tyler Algier. So I still think you draft him that high, Jeremiah Love is going to be your number one. Now, How long does he last? Again, I think this is ownership understanding they don't have the money for a good offensive line, right? So this is money knowing I may not have Jeremiah Love the entire season.
Yeah, I would, so I would hope, don't wish that on nobody, but I would hope he can at least give you in a rookie season, because as far as at least offensive rookies go, Rams drafting Ty Simpson, we already know how that's going. He ain't finna see the field at all unless something crazy happens to Stafford.
But we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about him.
Yeah, of course. Fernando Mendoza with the Raiders, he's not going to, obviously, I think Fernando Mendoza is not going to come in until week 8, week 9, somewhere around there. So his numbers might not even be great enough. Kind of like a Tyler Shook was last season. Tyler Shook was able to get more games. He's probably rookie of the year. But shout out to Ted McMillan. So Jeremiah Love is looking honestly, unless it's a surprise rookie on that side of the ball, Jeremiah Love, I think, is the front runner for offensive rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying? So
as long as
we got Jordan Tyson with New Orleans, but as long as Jeremiah Love can stay healthy, yeah, I think he's the runnings, but it depends on what version of this Arizona offense we're gonna get. Whatever Mike LaFleur's, I almost said Matt, that's his brother, older brother, by the way, but whatever Mike LaFleur's vision for this offense is. And then, like we said, with any sports league, it's a copycat league. So, like, are they going to be out here with the heavy 12 and 13 well, 12 personnel is not really heavy, but the 13 is more so of a heavy because there's 3 tight ends. But are we going to see them be more in a 12 and 13 set? You know what I'm saying? Especially like with a running back like Jeremiah Love. Now, he's a big guy. He can eat some hits, but at a certain point during the duration of a season, a 17-game season, that takes its toll. So, yeah, that, what's the vision? And then, of course, defense. The 2 highlights, like I said, you got a Buda Baker, Mac Wilson, and it's just like, who else we got out here? Like, so it's I know we was talking about the Jets and, the Dolphins and all that, like the Cardinals. It's like, yeah,
they're
5 or 6 wins for them is great, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona had repeated 3-14 again. But you said they can surprise a lot of teams, which it can go one of 2 ways. Like, they always find a way. For some reason, they always find a way to steal a win off San Francisco. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. But yeah, I think 4-13 with a 7-10 ceiling. 4-13 floor with a 7-10 ceiling is what I see from the Cardinals.
I would agree with that. And I would say again, one of the top 4 in the draft next year.
Yeah, if not
number 1.
Try to make something happen.
I mean, I'm not, and it's nothing again. It's nothing against the team the way they're built right now.
It's just they don't have like
there's things that go against them. Number 1, they play some powerhouses in that division twice a year.
Yeah.
So you're looking at least even if they steal 1 from one of them, you're looking at least losing 7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Because you're not playing very easy teams.
100%. So, yeah, like I said, these in all 3 of these teams last season, 12-plus wins. So, yeah, that's the thing.
And we're about to get into it here in a few.
We can put a bow on the Cardinals and move along to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they've had this Super Bowl window for a long time. A lot of these guys are up there in age. They lost some guys. Jawan Jennings is no longer on the team. We've seen Brandon Ayuk, show his early stages of, I'm not going to say that on this podcast, but you know what I mean. He's showing his early stages of, that. Ricky Pearsall is already out. They already get banged up. They're already banged up. Even the head coach got in an accident, and he was a little banged up, And then that whole conspiracy with the electric substation causing them, whatever that is, causing a lot of these injuries. Brought Dre Greenlaw back, but what do we see from the 49ers in 2026? They're aging. This is an aging roster.
Well, I'll give you another aging portion of it. You bring Dre Greenlaw back. That's great. That helps. You also brought Deebo Samuel back. That's great. But again, with what? The 49ers' biggest rival in the NFL is their practice field. It's their practice field. That is the biggest. Everybody's got a rival. The Dolphins have the Jets and the Bills, and the 49ers have their practice field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is. They're injured. They're injured before the season even starts.
Yeah, I think they're down 20% already.
They probably have the highest paid medical and training staff in the NFL because they got to be pros.
They got to be, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Offensively on paper, you look at offensively on paper, Brock Purdy is a nobody that's a somebody. He is what Tom Brady was, right? He's just missing the Super Bowl rings. Is it his fault? Not necessarily.
No.
Injuries are causing him to have it happen. For
Injuries
3 years,
and just a little bit of
stupidity,
mismanagement, and in times how y'all not know the overtime rules? Come on, man.
But still, it doesn't take that away from it. Take that away from it. You had Brandon Ayuk who's been injured, and you had 3 years with Ayuk that he could have been something. Pearsall, really good rookie, after getting shot, put up numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to
but it's just I ain't even trying to laugh at that because that's a messed up situation. But it's just
came back.
Training camp comes in. Now his ACL is, a knee injury, and he's done for the season. So it just,
I mean, that's devastating for the guy. I mean,
yeah, these guys just have as an organization, as a team, they just have the worst luck. But they find a way, and this is why I said, we had our show last season. This is why I said Kyle Shanahan can also be in running for Coach of the Year, because it's just like, we go through all this and we still can manage to win 12 games. We go on the road and to beat the defending Super Bowl champs in their house,
Here's the other side of it. You still have Christian McCaffrey. You still have George Kittle.
First off with Achilles, by the way, so he's going to be gone for a minute.
Who, Kittle?
Yeah, I think he got hurt towards the end of last season, so yeah.
But again, he's improving. But you still have them on offense, right? All right, take George Kittle out of it. You still have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, and they brought in Mike Evans.
You picked up Mike Evans. So, I mean, you're not, again, as long as you can keep Mike Evans off the practice field, which is causing the most injuries to the team so far.
Yeah.
I think San Francisco, they're going to find a way to win 10 games. I think their floor is 10 games. Their floor is 10 games. And defensively, they find studs defensively. I don't know how they do it. Kinlaw back is just a veteran presence, but Greenlaw back is a veteran presence, but they still find ways to stop people, and their defense is not going to be bad.
Yeah, they got Raheem Morris is the DC, so that's another thing too. They're not just they might not have some of the best drafts as we've seen of recently, especially going all the way back with that Trey Lance situation. They found Brock Purdy a diamond in the rough, but let's be real. What's the chances of that happening again in a lifetime? We might not see that for another 30 years.
I mean, at least once every 20 something years, right? Like Tom Brady, Brock Purdy. Once every 20 something years.
So it's just so you got that, and then so a little bit the biggest thing with the 49ers, like I said, I think it's just when it comes to drafting the talent, because they can, obviously you could get free agents to come out here, or you some of these guys I want to say COVID, like Fred Warner and Nick Bosa were 2019 draft picks and all that. That's great, but I think moving into this decade, I want to say Brandon Ayuk was a good pick, but it's just who's the pick that stood out from this decade for the San Francisco 49ers?
But brother, I hate to tell you this. I don't even think it is the drafting that is impressive with San Francisco. I think it's how they develop their players and they coach them to fit into the system, and the system works. You got to think about that, right?
Yeah.
They have a bunch of guys that were nobodies in college, that were nobody. I mean, well, everybody's somebody in college when you get drafted in the NFL, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
These guys are they get in the NFL, they're nothing. Yeah. And they turn them into guys that play like studs and just shut people out. And I mean, again, you're looking at and Fred Warner. Another veteran status. Another veteran
mid-season. He got hurt mid-season. He could have came back if they made a deeper playoff run because he got hurt early in the season. Yeah,
he's going to be back. They're going to limit him. He's going to be back. But even if he's not back fully right now, he's a veteran presence that's providing guidance, just like Kittle is. They're providing that. Maybe it's just the water that Shanahan has him drinking. I don't know.
Yeah,
their biggest rival in the NFL is not the Cowboys. It's not the Cardinals. It's not any other team. It is their practice field, and it is them. They're their own worst enemy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I know you live in that area, with Baltimore, all them injuries they was having because they just go too hard in practice under Harbaugh, and then that's kind of in 2021 that's kind of how they nosedive and didn't make the playoffs that year. So, but like we talked about San Francisco, they find ways, but it's just like you said, their floor is 10 wins, and a ceiling for them is obviously, we'll 13, get into the next two teams, 13, but the 14. Ceiling for them is obviously, the ceiling for them is 13, 14 wins, NFC Championship game appearance, because their pedigree alone is going to find them ways to win games, and then you got the coach and the GM on the same page, bringing in guys who fits the system and makes it work, and then Kyle Shanahan putting the X's and O's together on offense and also making that work.
But that burns them in the end, right? Because now that's why they don't draft well, because they fall into the middle of every draft.
Yeah.
And if you look at the draft classes the past 5-6 years because of the NIL, they're not very hefty after pick 10, right? And San Francisco, unless they trade up somehow,
they did with Trey Lance.
that's what I'm saying.
The only reason why they fell into a position because they had injuries coming off that Super Bowl year. When they made the Super Bowl, they had injuries with that, so that's how they kind of fell into that spot. So,
but again, if you're not trading up, then you're going to be in the middle of the pack in the draft, and that's going to get you hopefully somebody that's going to be a star. Like you're hopeful instead of more of a likely.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think out of it's 7 spots per each conference, 7 playoff spots, you can for sure 99 percent of the time, or I'll just say 90% of the time, you can pencil San Francisco being in one of those 7 spots. However it is a wild card or they won a division.
I'll tell you right now, this year, I'm not 100% sure.
You're not really.
Their floor is 10. Kind of like what I said on the last episode. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to pull them above it. Like, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sold that they're going to get a wild card berth just because the next 2 teams that we're about to talk about are going to be a little bit.
If anything, what would keep San Francisco out the playoffs, Brock Purdy, Trip Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Any of those guys miss a significant time in any portion of the season. And when George Kittle comes back, any of those guys miss a significant time in a portion of the season. Mainly Brock Purdy. If you lose Brock Purdy, he only played 9 games last year. Mac Jones rode the ship. But if he misses an extensive period of time, I think with Brock Purdy, or even Christian McCaffrey, because that kind of that's who the offense is pretty much designed around. So you lose Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy for an extended period of time. They'll find a way to win them games, but that 10-7 might not be enough for them to make the playoffs. So I can agree with you on that. But that ceiling is still it's still there. That's why I was saying. That's why I was asking. But as far as I know, so we're going to get into the Rams and then the Seahawks, but as far as the window for the 49ers, how close is it to being closed?
Oh man, I think you're the 2026 season away. Look, as now, I'm not sure with John Lynch, right? Like when Lynch is running it and he's the GM. So how he's seeing it with Shanahan, he's Lynch is a very loyal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is all about loyalty. I still don't see it being long, and not on Shanahan's part. I just don't. I think they're growing frustrated that they haven't broken
frustrated. Past. Like I said, they don't have a. Brock Purdy's still pretty young, but they don't have a starter on the offense.
And I
25 under 25, I think.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there's not going to be discussions of what are we going to do with getting these guys better facilities, and then that leads to a discussion on what happens with the team, and if the team's going to move, who knows? Mm-hmm. But I think if you have injuries coming up and you have people taking a significant look at it, I think your window's closing. Your window max 2 years, realistically probably the end of this year. And then you're looking at the ownership needs to make changes.
Because it's everybody looking at that shiny. We're going to get into it because everybody looking at that shiny object that just got sent from Cleveland to L.A. Los Angeles Rams, whom I thought at one point, hey, they going to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game appearance. They feel like, they got the roster intact. They got the MVP. They got a top 3 receiver. Hell, you can throw Devontae Adams in there. He's probably still a top 12 receiver.
You got 2. You got
an offensive genius and Sean McVay. You just got 2 cornerbacks from the Chiefs. One in Trick McDuffie you traded for and paid, and then Jalen Watson just came over in free agency. And then, of course, you got Myles Garrett and rumblings of Aaron Donald possibly making a return. I don't think there's much need to be said, because we already know the expectations for the Rams coming into this season, as Chris Broussard likes to call it, is S-Bob. And that's Super Bowl or bust. But we still going to get into it. What is the outlook for the Los Angeles Rams in 2026?
Well, all right. There's two answers for it. Number one is, are we talking about with Aaron Donald? Because if we're talking about with Aaron Donald, you may as well just
Either way it goes. Either way, I ain't gonna lie. Either way it goes, this roster is still stacked. Either way it goes,
they won't. But what I'm saying is, you put Aaron Donald, you sign him along with Myles Garrett. I mean, may as well give him the Lombardi right now. Because defensively, you're gonna pick your double team.
Yeah, somebody got to eat.
You're putting the worst chess match on. There's going to be offensive line.
I will be 100 with you. I would take my even as great as Aaron Donald is a physical freak. I would take my chances with Aaron Donald being out for 2 years before I even think about. I will double team Myles Garrett before I double team Aaron Donald. Simply because he's been out 2 years. That's it. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. He's been out 2 years. Have you seen him working out? He does not look like.
Of course. That's why I said physical freak, an anomaly. Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't care. I don't give a damn. Here's the thing. You bring Aaron Donald back, there's going to be offensive line coaches that are getting fired on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
There's going to be offensive coordinators going to be fired on a weekly basis because how are you going to sit there and double how do you pick? I don't know. I mean, you may as well throw up a survey before every game and have the fans pick at that point because you may as well pick your poison.
Yeah.
Without Aaron Donald, I mean, they're contending first. They're playing in the Super Bowl.
They got one of the best defensive fronts in the league. They're so stout. Like as far as outside of Myles Garrett and a potential Aaron Donald return, you got a Byron Young, you got all these guys.
Their front seven, and then their defensive backs. They're all solid. I'm telling you right now, this is how thin it is right now for the Los Angeles Rams. With Aaron Donald, give them the Lombardi Trophy. Without Aaron Donald, they're playing in the Super Bowl for a chance. That's where I'm at with them.
I will not, and I will not disagree with that at all. Obviously, games still got to get played. Obviously, we know that, but
I get it, and anything can happen. And I understand. I've been told that before, even when I've made this statement. Anything can happen. Yes, I understand. Anything can happen. That's why you play the games on Sunday. Any injuries happen. Injuries occur. Rest happens. I get it. I understand it. Still, you can give me Myles Garrett at 80% healthy and Aaron Donald at 100% healthy, and I'm still telling you right now they're the best defensive front in the league. Number one. Number two, offensively, I don't give a damn if he has 1 year left. I don't give a damn if he has half a year left and the rest of the time he's sitting there backing up Ty Simpson. On that offense, you have two solid running backs.
Corum and Kyron Williams.
The Kyron Williams' only issue is he's prone to fumbling, but I think he fixes that this year. That's it. You have one of the best offensive lines in the league, and you have Puka Nacua, and you have Devontae Adams. I don't care what anybody says. Devontae Adams, I don't care how old he is. I'll take him on my team. You send him down to Miami and put him in the Y. I don't care, and he's still better than a lot of other wide receivers out there. So, if you got 2 years left with Matthew Stafford, I would say
that's what I say. That like realistically, I know like we can sit here and say hand him the trophy, but realistically, I know we just previously talked about the 49ers and saying like, hey, it's either this year or hey man, we might need to go ahead and like, hey, we tried our best, but like, hey, we might as well go ahead and start breaking it down. With Stafford, do you give it obviously no excuses to not get it done this year, but anything can happen? Do we give these guys grace and give them 2 years? Because who knows? They can even go back. They could possibly even go back to back. But
I mean, I think you do. I think especially if you bring Aaron Donald back, yeah. You give him 2 years. You give him a 2-year buffer. You bring Aaron Donald back, you're giving him a 2-year buffer. I'll tell you that right now. And that might be one of the things that Aaron Donald's contemplating over. Like, is it just this year? Or if I barely miss it this year, do I have another one? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think that might be the contract.
And honestly, with the Aaron Donald situation, I mean, I will understand if you want him to come back in training camp so he can have some type of, game speed is game speed. No matter how long you've been out, you can miss like 5 games, 10 games. Once you get back in there, that game speed is a little different. But honestly, I think I won't be surprised he comes back. You know, they announced he comes back the last preseason game. Training camp is pretty much over. Now we just going through the regular season grind because, you know, they got that first game. That first game is in Australia. So I won't be surprised. All right, hey, Aaron Donald just coming back for the regular season. Like, we don't really need it for training camp. Of course, they're going to say he's having great workouts and all that stuff, which, you know, is Aaron Donald. So, of course, he's going to be having a great workout. But we don't want him taking all these unnecessary hits in practice. So we're going to keep it sealed and then bring him back for the regular season.
But what I'm saying though is like regardless of what happens, I still think you give it 2 years because they want Stafford. They want Stafford to coach up Ty Simpson. They want Ty Simpson to be the future. It's understood in this new contract that they drew up. They didn't sign Stafford to a 5-year.
Yeah,
deal. They signed him to a 2-year extension, and they did some salary cap gymnastics, and they're working it out, understanding that Ty Simpson is going to be the future. So yeah, you give them a little bit of grace. You give them another year of grace. So I think you give them 2 years. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be 100% honest with you. They are in the Super Bowl. They're in the Super Bowl.
Back in SoFi too, where when the Super Bowl they won recently was in SoFi. So
they're in the Super Bowl. They're in the Super Bowl, but they're not there yet. But they're in the Super Bowl. And unless Myles Garrett's there, then just hand them the Lombardi.
Yeah. So yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, it's just. Like I said, obviously, after you make a trade like that, obviously is S-Bob. And then the crazy part about it, I know they didn't want to give up Jared Verse, but that's the only way that the Browns were going to agree to that trade. Just imagine we in a world where you got Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald in the middle, and Jared Verse on the opposite side of Myles Garrett.
I'm telling you right now, if I have to give up Verse to get Myles Garrett, I don't give a damn who I'm getting.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I have to give up Tyler, if I have to give up Hendrickson, or Max Crosby to get Myles Garrett, I'll do it. Max
Crosby top 3. I get what you're saying. But they pretty much.
You know what I'm saying. But you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I see the vision, but it's pretty much like that's pretty much tomato. But I see the division.
The top three, they're close, but they're
Miles,
still
Micah, Max. That's what it is. Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. Between those top 3, the one that's a head and shoulders above them.
Yeah,
and I'll do one better. It's Miles. You could say Miles, Micah, Max, TJ,
Nick Benito,
and Tyler Hendrick, right? But still, number 1 is Myles Garrett. Yeah. Everybody else, there's such a significant.
There's a gap. I don't think it's wide. It ain't no super wide gap, but it's a gap. It's definitely a gap.
Enough.
Yeah,
it's significant enough that 2, 3, 4, and 5 are right there.
They're interchangeable. I will agree. 2 through 5 is interchangeable, but
number one
is undisputed. D1, yeah, D1,
and he currently plays for the Los Angeles Rams. Possible Super Bowl contender, or Super Bowl contenders, possible Super Bowl winners. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because it's just like Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. We know that. Puka Nacua, you can pencil in. You know, he's going to be leading in one of these categories, if not being a Triple Crown winner. Devontae Adams on the other side, if he stays healthy, can give you 1,000 yards. Matthew Stafford is going to be an MVP candidate. So it's a what's my guy?
Even if Stafford plays at a fraction of what he played like last year,
just an average, a game manager level.
You're still looking at and remember, Puka was hurt last year for a few games. Devontae was hurt last year for a few games. I'm just saying. You have a couple.
Puka still had I want to say 1,700 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So that's crazy. But yeah. So yeah,
let's put the bow on this one. Let's put the bow on this one.
It's pretty much like what's pretty much understood with LA. Guy ain't got to be explained. But now on to the defending champs. Came into the season as a long shot. Mike McDonald, one of the premier defensive gurus / head coaches in the NFL. Lost some guys. Kenneth Walker being one of them. Lost a cornerback to the Eagles. Lost an edge rusher. Can't remember where, but they lost that. But what do we see from the Seattle Seahawks in 2026? Hangover or
no? I don't think you have a hangover because I'll tell you why. You still have JSN, who is the best wide receiver in the league. Nobody's going to argue that.
Yeah, the best season, yes.
And Sam Darnold has definitely revitalized his career. and is playing worth it. Their offensive line is probably number 2 offensive line in the league. Defensively, again, they had interchangeable pieces. So defensively, they were able to interchange a lot of them. And even with their losses, there's guys that are filling in, and they're going to be good.
They still got Leonard Williams holding it down,
Again,
and him and Byron Murphy Jr. So they're going to be.
So you're not talking about losing a whole lot. I still think.
Yeah, you know how it goes. When you win a Super Bowl, the guy's going to be looking for a payday, and you can't get mad at him.
No. And listen, Kenneth Walker gone, like you had to understand he was going to demand more money.
Yeah.
He was going to demand more money. And what else does he have to play? He got a championship, so he's going to demand more money.
And he's actually going to a team that the need for him is a little bit higher than per se a Seattle.
Correct. But my thing about it is maybe this is a bold prediction on my end because again we don't get a lot of Seattle coverage, but I'm going to say it anyways. Seattle's going to be they're going to be at least a wild card at best, or at worst the wild card. At best, they're the division leaders, and the Rams are the wild card. But at absolute worst, it's the flip flop. They're playoff contenders. They're playoff contenders probably for another solid 5 years. And I'll tell you why. Because you sign Sam Darnold to a long-term contract, depending on the running back that you guys bring in, how healthy that offensive line stays, and JSN, I don't care.
Most definitely. I think Seattle, they drafted the guy that was basically the backup to Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, Jadarian Price. I think that's his name. So, and he's looking good out there. He's looking great out there in training camp. Then I know Zach Charbonnet got hurt. I think he got hurt. I won't say that playoff game versus San Francisco, or it was the regular season game in Week 18. But he's going to be great for them. It's like they're still going to, the run game is still going to be effective. I just want to see, you basically talked about the depth pieces on the defense, but I want to see, would there be a drop off from the defense? Losing some depth pieces like that, or would they still just maintain that level of play that they had last year, being the number one overall defense in the league?
There's going to be a drop off, but it's not going to be a significant one that you're going to sit there and be like, oh, they suck now.
Yeah,
right. They're still, and this is me being bold on this. They're still going to be above San Francisco. Their biggest threat is in Los Angeles, but it was the same way it was last year. And honestly, if you look at those games last year, it could have gone either way.
Yeah. I know Sam Darnold in the regular season had that game where he had all them turnovers and they found a way to win. I mean,
you take away that playoff game where the kick six happened in the opening kickoff, and you're talking about a different ball game.
Yeah, that pretty much set the tone for the rest of that game. It's like, pretty much like, it's over for you, San Fran. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you right now that's a whole different ball game because LA came back and played it close. So I think you're going to see a drop off, but it's not going to be significant enough to really say anything. You're going to see more elevation out of the Rams defense than you're going to see a drop off out of.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a NFC Championship game rematch between these two teams. And you want to know,
the roles are going to be reversed. You're going to have, and again, this is Raphael's opinion, right? The increase in the defensive production for the Rams is going to be so great that's going to elevate them to the number one. They're going to win the division. And the Seahawks, the decrease is going to be just minimal, but they're just going to miss the division by even a half.
I'm going to call, if we're doing it like that, honestly, I will go 13-4 Rams, 14-3 Rams, and I will go 12-5 Seattle.
Yeah.
11-6 Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the NFC Championship game for this season is a rematch of last season. And I wouldn't be surprised, how last decade when Harbaugh got to San Fran and Pete Carroll was at Seattle, that basically turned into the rivalry was already intense, but it got more intense because we started, the fight for the Super Bowl. So I wouldn't be surprised if, the LA and Seattle turns into that kind of a rivalry within the rivalry again, you know what I'm saying? Especially with these two young head coaches. Yeah. You got the offensive guru and the defensive guru with Sean McVay and Mike McDonald. So, and chess match with that. So I would not be surprised if it turns into something like that. And then we get to whatever team makes the key stop goes to the Super Bowl.
You're talking about a Mike McDonald that's in his second year as a head coach.
This year 3, by the way.
All right, third year as a head coach. But still, what 1 out of 3, or 1 out of 2, he's 50% right now for championship wins. In baseball, batting .500 gets you into the Hall of Fame, bro.
It gets you in the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Just
Most
saying.
definitely.
This dude
Yeah,
and
he's-
this dude and McVay are they're growing that rivalry.
We copy. Everybody copies either McVay or Shanahan, and McVay is really an extension of the Shanahan tree. So, like I said, it's Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. You look at Clint Kubiak, and you look at it's all stemming from these two guys, Shanahan and Sean McVay, mainly Sean McVay, because especially like now you're going to see a lot of teams are drafting tight ends now because we want to run 12 and 13 personnel sets is stemming from LA. So like we talked about when we did like when OKC won the championship last year, that copy, everything we copy an OKC style now. Now we want to copy LA Rams style. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a it's a revolving door. And we can even mix Philly in there. Like we prioritizing running backs. Went out and get Saquon. We ran our way to a Super Bowl. He didn't do as much in the Super Bowl, but the fact that the Chiefs defense keyed on him opened up everything for Jalen Hurts to take over the game passing. So so it's just a revolving door of everybody copying everybody. But yeah, this is, and like I said in the intro, like second to none, this is the best division in the NFL. When you get 3 teams to go 12-5 or better, and you got the team that wins the Super Bowl, like come on, you cannot argue that.
Let's be honest. If the Niners make it into the wild card game as well,
they're gonna be scary.
And you're looking at again what happened last year. 3 out of the 4 are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think it's very doable depending on if the Niners stay healthy. But
it's a right in. Like I said, even though we talked about what the issues with San Fran, I was still like,
it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter.
But yeah, they can still.
You're still looking at the best division in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, most 100%. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it back and sent the same 3 teams. That's all I was about to say. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that again.
And I'm not saying the best division in the NFC. I'm saying the best division.
In all of football. NFL. Yeah, all of NFL football.
I want to clarify that in the NFL.
Yes, and then we put it into it. It's a lot of talent in the NFC West. Oh man, who is going to break out in this NFC West? Of course, we got the Matt Stafford's of the world, the Puka Nakuas, the now Myles Garrett, the JSNs, Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl. On the defense, more guy, say Christian McCaffrey, obviously, George Kittle. Who do we got breaking out?
I'll tell you, offensively, I see Trey McBride having a stud year.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think he's going to have another stud year. He's going to prove last year wasn't a fluke. He was the only tight end with over 1,000 yards last year. And I think he's going to prove it wasn't a fluke. He's going to get another 1,000 this year. Over another 1,000 this year. Offensively. Defensively, maybe this is a cop-out. Maybe it's not. Good luck stopping him. I
ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you. I'm going to go, like when we talked about Arizona, I'm going to just go Jeremiah Love, just for the simple fact, I think right now, the offensive rookie of the years is his to lose because out of all the rookies that got drafted high, I think he's going to be the one that get constant repetition. But hopefully that offensive line holds up for him. And defensively, I know we got Leonard Williams. I know we got Dre Greenlaw. I know we got Fred Warner. I know we got your guy Myles Garrett, my guy as well. I'm going to go just for the simple fact that Myles Garrett is on the team and is going to command, this is, even if Aaron Donald comes back, I'm going to go Byron Young.
Okay.
Especially with Myles Garrett being on the opposite side of him. I'm going to go Byron Young. That's going to open up more opportunities. That's a Bama guy, but it ain't even no Bama bias. Bama bias aside, it's just the fact that when you got not even a top 3 defender, when you got a top 3 player overall in the NFL on that side of the ball with you, it's going to open up opportunities for you. So I'm going to go Byron Young as far as defensive player making that jump. Yeah. So, hey, that's pretty much all we got. Hey, I think we got like 2 more left. I want to AFC South, NFC East. Oh, and we got AFC North. So we got 3 more left. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's been great breaking these, going, across the NFL division by division. For Rafael Rhodes, for Anthony Lights, this is Let Me Say This. And once again, We are out, and make sure you catch us on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments. Signing off.